The mark from that spray I create stay on the ground. Like the mark of the beast, that thing gonna stay on the ground. I love the lyrics of D1. I look a man in the eyes, he ain't nothing to me. I see the spirit of that man, that is something to see. That's why Yahweh told all of his people, wink, wink, he told Jeremiah, he said, do not look at their faces. That's like, shut your eyes to the ugly. He said, don't look at ugly. I'll judge ugly. They're going to come out saying, only God can judge me. Well, only God judges ugly. I judge between good and bad. That third category, only Yahweh can judge that third category. You're ugly ass mofos. That's what you are. You're seer-sucking, boot-licking, yellow-bellied, land-loving, demonic entities. When I say demon, I mean everything that turned away from the Most High. I'm going to cover y'all under one little thing. I don't have a word Nephilim for you. Anakim, Zuzim. Y'all are demons. I don't care how they classify you. You don't classify your trash, especially if you don't want to recycle that stuff. The Most High going to burn y'all. And he's going to burn you real well. Like Chili's baby back rib burn. The only way you can eat a pig in reality is by burning that thing, pouring Coca-Cola over it at least 6 times, and then burning it again. You better grill that thing to perfection, boy, to the point where you can't even see, you can't tell where the head is, where the tail is. Pigs and their little oinkers, their little tails they got there. Boy, when you see that thing looking blacker than a kettle, this is a pot calling a kettle black. Them pork rinds are barbecued, boy. That's what it's gonna look like in the lake of fire. And one of my prayer requests is that oxygen literally turns the element of oxygen, because there's gonna be a fire in the lake of fire, and if water is not present, that means the hydrogen atom, that element is not going to be present in the lake of fire. It's going to be extinguished, because oxygen is what really is going to cause the burn. I don't want the H meeting the O to make anybody feel like a ho hum. You're going to be asking for a course like a thirsty ass whore. Ain't got no dick to suck. That's what it's going to be like in the lake of fire. They got that one dude in the lake of fire. He asked for a dick, man. That dude was like, give me something I can suck on. He said, send Lazarus to stick his finger in the water. This guy was getting horny just thinking about Lazarus, boy. Abraham looked at him and he said, Lazarus is too far from you right now. And even then, he's chilling right now with me. He's chilling with the Most High. He said, Lazarus ain't going to stick his finger in no water to get you to turn on, boy. Get out of here. What he look like, your slave? That man was begging for food every single day in front of your house. Dogs were licking his sores. You couldn't even cover the man up. If you see ugly in your neighborhood, you got to deal with ugly. Be like, I don't want this dude living looking like that. If I'm living la vida loca, it's like toca coca. To get something, you have to give something. And I'm already living well. I mean, shoot. If this is the glass ceiling, if I've already reached the glass ceiling, I need to step on the glass roof. You can't get any higher than the roof, man. You don't jump off the roof and be like, yeah, I'm going to get to the next level. You ain't Mario. And even if you were Mario, you go down, boy. You go into that little sewer system. You're a plumber standing on the roof. You better stay on the roof. That's how you got to treat people. You see somebody a little less than you, you bandage his wounds, you get rid of his sores, you make sure he's eating every day, and you're going to feel like you living in a room without a roof. You're going to be happy. You took somebody to the next level, even if that next level for that poor man was just having a cup of water, you would be in the kingdom. You would be in the Shamayim. You would be in the heaven of heavens. Like, all your prayer requests get answered. My prayer request is that regardless of all the homeless people I helped in my life, including myself, get to the next level, that my purpose is going to be preparing Lucifer and all unclean spirits for the aftermath. So I'm the math teacher. Welcome to Aftermath. Welcome to the aftermath. I'll be your math instructor. The lake of fire has already been hooked up by my prayer request. While all these Christians are praying for world peace and all these current world order business, the real ones, not the fake Christians, because Christianity is too easy to infiltrate. And remember, there are things made for this nation. If a person who calls himself a Christian, you're part of a creed, you're part of the order. Christianity even has a creed. It ain't Apollo, because it's been, actually it is Apollo. Christianity's creed is Apollo. They pray to all these gods. They worship on days of the week. Christianity is a Roman institution. The moment you look at a Christian and they're trying to step away from Rome but still call themselves a Christian, you have to laugh at them. It's like, how the world you telling everybody to get out of the pool when you're covered in water? You were just in the pool of water and your body's getting hot as that. Boy, you're going to jump right back in that thing. Christians are the only people at the pool party trying to preach to other people about not getting in the pool, but they all wet. Well, you know what the word says? It says I have to be like others and be like all men in order to save some. You are taking the words of the Yahudim, the Jews, and trying to apply it to a Roman concept of righteousness. That is impossible. That's why everything can be easily explained by a Christian, covered by a Christian, because there's no proviso for Christianity in the Bible. And then they'll even try to say, well, they mentioned Christian once. That doesn't cover you. And it doesn't mean because you were persecuted either. Christianity was an offset religion already at the time of Yahawashai and Shaul of Tarsus. Yehoshua. There was already a sect of pagans known as Christians at the time of his birth. Crete, Chrétien, Christians, the religion of Mithras, all of these things were already around. They are Babylonian, if anything, because they borrow from the Babylonian tenets of the mother goddess and the, what I call the occult child, and they extrapolate those ideologies directly from the Hebrews. Remember, this all started from Abraham. That's how you know full well that you're dealing with a cult. When that cult tries to connect itself to the truth, but then its origins are beyond what was already known. Through the lineage of Abraham comes righteousness and salvation. It doesn't come from any other family tree on earth. That family tree stems through Seth and it goes all the way back to Adam and Eve. Where in the world did you come from? That's why Yahawashai even said he's not going to take after the order of Jeconiah. He's going to take after the order of Adam. He is the second Adam. Why? Because Adam had a son. Adam's son was cut off. Man made in Yahweh's image, and the son of righteousness had to be killed for that. Before he had any what? Offspring. If Abel had offspring, they would have said the son of Abel. Nope. Adam and Eve had to give birth to another son called Seth. And through Seth's lineage, you come to Abraham. So Mashiach had to be cut off in the middle of the week, just like Abel was cut off from life by his brother Cain, that savage, that nonsense. The firstborn son was the firstborn murderer. That's why you hear the words ascribed to Lucifer and Satan. He's a murderer from the beginning. Read the entire chapter of John chapter 5 and you'll see why the scripture decries all this falsetto use of the religion in order to cover a bona fide word as hard as a rock. That's why the righteous do not fear the wicked. The righteous stand in the presence of the wicked like a man standing in sunshine. He has nothing to fear. Everything's exposed. The wicked have to give you all of these things to medicate you and cover your mouth and shut you up. And you hear all these stories of people having these out-of-body experiences, when dealing with the spirit realm, they always feel like they're choking in their sleep. That's if people are filled with demons. Demons are like this nasty factor, this mole, this wickedness of the Egyptians, this sickness. They're a disease. They're like venom. They're like in the movie Venom. They're like the symbiote. They're like Carnage. They're like the evil sauce that coming out of Billie Eilish's eyes in that Dumb Behind music video. All these movies depicting this wicked, demonic type of fluid or substance, a worm that's coming out of people's body, like in the X-Files, that black goo. Monster blood from Goosebumps. The Yerk from Animorphs, that worm that's lodged in people's brains. All these movies about aliens taking over people's body. Decoys. What's the other one? Species. The Puppet Masters. What's that other one that's in there? Splinter. The Thing. It just turns into a human being, and then it just, all of this nonsense. That's exactly what needs to be eradicated from people's bodies. Because when you look through it, through the scripture, you'll always see that when a person was demon possessed, they do certain things that you see, especially nowadays. They try to act all ho-hum on the outside, but the demon's really using them as a puppet, as a ventriloquist dummy. And these people are channeling spirits, and just the spirits are speaking through them. They're the mouthpiece for these demonic entities. And once that yerk gets shot out of the brain, or that wicked spirit gets cast out, like Mary Magdalene had 7 demons removed from her body, afterwards she follows Yahawashai. Why does she follow Yahawashai? Because the demons are no longer using her as a puppet. And you see it in modern day society, when all these people, you start following the truth and knowing the truth for yourself, the moment you go out there and you start preaching, they come out of the woodworks trying to cause harm to you, disturbing you, distracting you, using witchcraft in order to disturb your dreams and your sleep. And they're communicating with the demons even within you, trying to get you angry, so you act out and have to get arrested by the police or shot up or killed. They'll send gangs after you. They'll send Masons after you. They'll send Freemasons and agents. All of these things to try to make your life miserable. But they don't understand that it says that the angel of Yahweh encamps around those who fear him. Encamps means that you have a fighting force greater than theirs surrounding your territory and your life and your well-being. So now you have all the time in the world to not act like a Christian anymore, but like a Jew, a prophet, a priest, a king, a servant of the Most High. You have all the time to make prayers according to what Yahweh would want. And this world is like an open world. This is like a free-range, open world society, that while you're in the middle of the mess, in the middle of your enemies surrounding you, you get to watch 1,000 fall at one side and 10,000 at your right hand. So you might as well start making prophetic unctions and moves. Whatever comes out of the mouth of the children of Yahweh in these days, and the servants of Yahweh, because he has both children and servants. Whatever comes out of their mouth in the last days in terms of judgment against the wicked will be executed to the highest order, the highest level. That's why you don't have to worry about neighbors acting a fool around you. You don't have to worry about family members acting a fool around you. You don't have to worry about these people in society acting a fool around you, because they're already lost. Some of them are under demonic possession and control. They're not free. They're slaves. They're prisoners to a system of repression. So you have to act like that drop of soap in the middle of that dirty pool of water. Have that sin regressing back to where it started. Its origins are Lucifer, Luciferian. These people are the most miserable people on earth, because they can only hang out with the most miserable spirit in reality, which is the devil. Lucifer and his lame ass. All these secret hush hush. Listen, let Mardi Gras, which is what they truly are, Fat Tuesday, Ash Wednesday, because they're all going to be in ashes one day. Let all of these entities and creatures alone. They wanted to start a party at the beginning. The Most High gave orders. These motherfuckers are sitting here going, oh yeah, we got it. Everything's cool now. We understand how it worked. We good. We gonna run the show. Okay. They only wanted to party, and Disney was born. Got to take care of these bloodsuckers from the onset, from the get-go, from the jump. Take care of them by not indwelling in their services. If this is a society of repression and you start acting like the world, which is what Yohanan said, John said, those who are in love with the world have no fellowship with Yahweh. Christianity comes along and tells you that you can be both a righteous person. They try to take up your struggle, just like these people in the last days talking about black this and black that. Not black power. They're just trying to make everybody into one little hodgepodge. That is what you call lukewarmness. Christianity is a religion of lukewarmness. Even a devout Christian is lukewarm by the standards of what? Yahweh. Because it says, in those days, you're going to start seeing people call righteousness wickedness and wickedness righteousness. They're not going to take up for the sins that their fathers committed. Until the end, they're going to have to be forced to admit the fact that their fathers put the prophets to death, sacrificed women and children, and bludgeoned them, and did all of this thing. But when you talk to them about their past history, they either one, get angry, or two, dismissive. They do not acknowledge it without covering their backs. Well, you know, we're not the same people that did this, or, you know, that was back in the day and all that stuff. And then they're looking at the repressions, the repercussions of all those back in the day policies and all those back in the day actions. The harm that you enacted on people who had nothing to do with you because of the color of their skin and their heritage. You are doing what your fathers do, because every person that is walking around is the seed of their father. Like Yahweh Shai said, you are the seed of your father, the devil. I don't trust people, especially white folk. I don't trust you by the color of your skin. I trust you by the content of your character, like Martin Luther King said. And a lot of you act exactly like your fathers. That's why you're going to burn in the lake of fire. Notice what color I said. Because any person that tries to act like a white person, and I'm speaking especially to the people, you like to cover things up like whitewash. The scripture even calls y'all out Edomites. There's white folk and there's wicked people in every people group and color on earth. But the people who are in charge of the current system are the ones that are going to be cast down, knocked down and destroyed. Teeth busted out your mouth, brains all up on the ground, just like the Haitian Revolution. We're going to come after you. You can put all the movies out there. Put out the movie Civil War. And y'all know I'm right. Because all these movies are about the takedown. This is Olympus has fallen. London has fallen. All of those prayers that I've been making and the things that I've said, all these countries and nations going to be destroyed. Lickety split. You won't have anything to shake up. You will have nothing to stand on. Isn't it interesting? These countries that have and boast of the color of whiteness, Japan, Germany, Spain, Italy, all these guys could have been in World War II, Axis and Allied powers, doesn't matter who, because everybody's working on the same stuff. Go to war just to fulfill your fantasies of being an American hero. Continue. That's why the word says you're going to study war no more in the prophecies. There's not going to be one G.I. Joe soldier. Everybody's going to be a Joe. There ain't going to be no G.I. They're going to be an average Joe, not a G.I. Joe. You take some of these guys out in the military, they don't know what to do with themselves because their whole body is bent towards killing and war and massacre. They are of their fathers. Their mothers are just the same. I don't sit here and think that all white women are innocent. Oh, hell no. Some of them are just as dangerous as the men that they live with and the men that they marry. Look at how their children turn out. And there's some white people that are even saying amen. They know what I'm telling the truth. There's no safety in the presence in the area of a white person if there's a black person that's going to be present. And they're going to black people down. What you talking about? Listen to me. I don't like white people because of what they can do for me. I like them because they're made in the image of Yah. That's it. The moment you don't get part of their system of repression, you either stand out for the wrong reasons and they're going to try to silence you and shut you up. There will be few of their number, a remnant that will stand alongside of black men truly, not because of the benefits that the black people are, but because they actually love black folk. There are even black folk that act like white folk and they turn on their own kind. Like I said, white folk exist in all societies. And I'm talking about both to the color of the skin and to the content of the character. The system in place now that wants to keep everything secret and hush hush in order to control the masses is a system that's going to be destroyed. In that number, there are myriads of white people and myriads of Christians. Because after all these wars that these people have been involved in, you think you would put sanctions on a country? Let's just say Germany was an all-black country during World War II. Germany would not have received Germany would look like Haiti right now. When Haiti was in its heyday, Haiti had 3 heydays in the 1900s. After that, blip in the radar. Germany would still look like Haiti to this day, if not worse, for their atrocities in World War II. Instead, Germany's given a slap on the wrist and a pat on the back. All these operations and paperclip this and all this other stuff. You have to hear these people. They just like sniffing their own rear ends. They like going through their own histories, looking at how things were done. And you look at all these branches and offshoots. Everybody got a story about their father's heritage, and your fathers are wicked. Ain't nobody want to hear about that stuff no more. We're tired of it. Disney World conspiracy, Werner von Braun, all this stuff. You keep talking about the same people. As it says in Psalm chapter 12, verse 8, Tehillim chapter 12, verse 8, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest of men are exalted. That's why this country looks as bad as it does. And Lucifer's sitting here looking like a half burnt pancake, like not Ephesus, Esau, like what's that brother's name? Ephraim. You a half in, half out? It's called High Ho Ministries. Half in, half out ministries. That's what Christianity is. Half in, half out ministries. And you ain't saving nobody. Because the word says, in that day, people will come and say, did we not preach in your name? Did we not evangelize? Did we not cast out demons? Did we not heal the sick? Did we not lend to the poor? Did we not feed the hungry? Did we not visit those in prison? Yahweh is going to look at you. Yahweh Shai is going to look at you, the son of whom he's committed judgment. And he's going to say, get away from me. I never knew you. That is Christianity in a nutshell. Right after that is Islam. Because Islam does the same thing Christianity does, just with a different name to it. It was your fathers that were murdering my people. Searching them out, looking them up, trying to teach them a whole new religion and gospel. All the stuff that Deuteronomy 28 says is going to happen. On one side of the coin is the what I call the Neo-Roman. All religions that stem from Rome and come from Rome. All religions that come from Asia and Eurasia, like you try to turn Asia and Europe into 2 separate entities. They're connected by land. I don't know how you can, if Australia was connected, except for underground, over the waters, to Asia, and they still call Australia. I remember the old maps are Australasia and something like that. That entire landmass is connected. Europe, Asia, and Australia. The same people live out there. Ain't no difference. When you look at the old maps and you see things for what they are, if water was not on this earth and y'all want to believe in your religion, I'm not even going to talk about the cosmology of earth because that's part of the great deception. If you already do not believe in how the scripture describes how earth is, you are not going to be a person that can be reasoned with. It's only by the grace of Yah you're going to be saved. So you want to talk about people not standing out for the right reasons? Everybody wants to point fingers at flat earthers and stuff. If this earth wasn't flat, you wouldn't be able to stand on it. If this earth wasn't a plane, you wouldn't be able to stand on it. Plane, Plane, not the thing that flies in the air. But even then, planes have to be planular, don't they? They have to have symmetry to them. They have to be flat enough in the inside of an airplane for people to walk around. There's not a sphere flying around and people are just... You always have to walk on the flattest part of any surface. Or else you don't see people walking on walls, walking sideways, walking upside down. And even if they did walk upside down, the place where they're walking has to be flat enough for them to stand on. It's called a platform. Plate, flatness, a platform. Man, you can't teach people this. Everybody wants to be that little dog or seal that's balancing on the ball or balancing the ball on their nose, trying to look like Atlas. Ain't gonna work. Black to reality is back to reality. All of this deception, all of this covering things up, all of this supporting franchises in a society that likes to keep people over-medicated, undereducated, unhealthy. The society that keeps that going and keeps that all in the family is a society that's going to be destroyed. And it's word to all of these fallen angels, you want to call them that, all of these creatures of unrighteousness. You all were hit with a disease, an antibody. That's why you love sludging yourself over a human body. It says the man that had legion had numerous unclean spirits within him. They even spoke to Yahawashai and said that we are legion, for there are many of us in him. This guy couldn't get a break. All day long, these demons are just trying to manifest through him and speak their peace and do all this other stuff. Whatever you call yourselves, I don't give a damn. I don't give a Saddam, and I don't give one lightning strike to your Hussein Bolt. I don't give a damn about no demon-possessed person, a witch, a warlock, a mason. Every last one of y'all, I called y'all out. Even the Christians. Christians are a warlike faction of people. The moment you attack their book, which is the Bible, they will come after you. And they don't understand that everything that they learn and all the tenets of Christianity come from a non-religious source known as the Word of Yah. Why did I say non-religious? Because the word says true religion is this: to take care of the orphans and the widows. That comes from the book of James. True religion is not looking at a person for what they bring to the synagogue or the offering plate. James even has a story about how you give people the best houses or the best seats in the house if they come dressed like some standout. But then you treat the poor folk like they're comedians. Comedians back in the day couldn't make any money. They were just on the side of the road doing their thing. It's only become a thing now where a comedian can get paid high price just for making people laugh, wink, wink. Some of them aren't even funny nowadays. Jimmy Fallon, I'm talking to you. Holy smokes. Most unfunny man in business. I don't find anything funny about him. Jimmy Kimmel crying is more funny than Jimmy Fallon giving a joke. That's the greatest topsy-turvy out there. They pay these guys chump change. They pay these guys the toilet paper of Russia, the toilet paper of Germany after World War I. True religion means you live out what you preach. You don't hold a book in front of people's faces and try to make them bow before an idol of wood and stone, which is what Islam and Christianity and Buddhism and Taoism and Judaism, Jewishism, which is a new word for it, Jewishism. All of that stuff is just beans, uncooked beans. You're putting a plate of uncooked beans in front of a hungry man. That's all you're doing. He's going to die from gas. He's going to die. Them beans aren't cooked. You're giving the world food that they can't stomach. And then you want to cover it under the religion of Christianity. That's why Christianity is a sect. It's an offshoot of the mystery religion of Babylon. Every last one, every religion on earth that calls itself a religion covers itself under a 501c3. Anything that has to deal with the Bible, the Quran, or the Torah, the Talmud, or all of these works, they're offshoots of knowledge. Even Gnosticism is a religion. Anything that is part of a religion that can be identified and covered up and lipstick on a pig, on a pig, all of that stuff is going to be burned. Nothing on this earth is going to stay. That's why Yahawashai even said, he says, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words shall remain. He says, not one jot, not one tittle, not one yod from my words is going to be destroyed. All that extra stuff, all that extra baggage, y'all add into the word, you add to revelation, every single one of y'all, you should have. That's why y'all, Shaul said, let not anyone, not all of you desire to be teachers. Some people just have to be quiet and say amen. It'd be better for you to stop speaking so that way you can do what I'm doing and decrying all the nonsense out like one big pile of trash. And Yahweh's not going to take this to the recycling center to build a trash heap with a hill. In Yasharal, they burn their trash. That way that trash ain't never coming back. Christianity and all of those religions, you are going to be cast into a lake of fire. That is how Yahweh deals with his trash. He burns that stuff. Ain't no shredding machine. And we're going to take some rubber, some plastic bags. And we're gonna find some place in the United States of America to deal with all that stuff. Boy, he's gonna put some napalm on the ground. He's gonna put some tar, bitumen, pitch, sulfur. This stuff is gonna get eradicated. The elements are going to burn, like Shimon Kefa, Simon Peter said. That song says, I'll stand my ground until you're proud of the name. That's Yahawashai. He bled to his death. No, he wasn't insane. This world's full of crud. It's up to us to keep it clean. I'm gonna preach the gospel. I don't care if I scream. I say let's shake it now. The elements are gonna burn. Hell is gonna make them squirm. We've gotta love until they learn. I say we shake it now. The elements are gonna burn. Hell is gonna make them squirm. Hell is gonna make them squirm. We've gotta love until they learn. I say we shake it now. Yeah, yeah. I'll stand my ground until you're proud of the name. He bled to his death. No, he wasn't insane. This world's full of crud. It's up to us to keep it clean. I'm gonna preach the gospel. I don't care if I scream. Boy, the lake of fire is going to be filled with some hot behind sonic golden ring oxygen. Everything that starts with a letter O is going to pop out of the lake of fire. You're going to see oxygen, the letter O, Sonic's golden ring, the Lord of the Ring, Oreo cookies. Boy, that oxygen is going to come in the shape of everything disastrous on this earth. Because my job is to make Lucifer miserable. All these demons miserable. Y'all who are hit with the antibodies. Boy, this earth is going to turn on every single person that follows Lucifer. It's going to turn on you. You talking about damn nature, you scary. The Jungle Book, Jumanji, scary. This world is going to turn on you in a nutshell. All that junk that you pulled against the Yahudi, and now you're trying to preach to us our own book and our own gospel. Boy, all that stuff's going to turn on you like the lions did in the story of Daniel. Like the fire did in the story of Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, who you call Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego because a Babylonian tried to change their name. Sorry, that slavery business don't work with us. That's why every single person that's lived after the transatlantic slave trade and you're the descendants of those people who are being judged, your blood is being cleansed and purged. You don't really have to do anything anymore. Stop working. If Lucifer tries to put you to work, his kingdom is going to end even faster. The moment these guys wanted to try to put hands on the children of Yasharal, what did Yahweh do? He started sending the A-team. That's the only team he has. Once the repression in Egypt got so bad, the people started crying out. Boy, the plan was that Egypt gets destroyed by natural elements. Look at the plagues, man. How many plagues were animal related? The waters turning red, fish dying. That was the first one. That's an animal related plague because fish died. Out of that same bloody water come frogs. Boy, you know how to start a horror movie. That water nasty looking. It stank. And the next thing you know, frogs come out of that thing. What the world? What's going on? That is the ugliest sight to behold. Is muddy water. Already got some nasty behind creatures inside of it. The little gods they were worshiping. These half crocodiles, half man, half frog, half man. I know the names of all these false gods, but I'm not going to say them because the word tells me do not speak the names of these false gods, nor let their names come off your lips. That's what the word says. The only one I'm going to call out is Lucifer because he's the king of all the false gods on earth. I can wrap everything up in a nutshell by calling Lucifer a nut. There you go. That dirty ass water, that water used to be clean, but now it's muddy because, you know, it's the time of spring and everything. So the rains and the water it starts looking like the dead grass. That water's not crystal clear anymore. It's not like a Florida geyser. It's not I'm about to say Zephyr Hills. It's not Crystal River. Whatever they call that water. The cleanest looking water you got. It ain't none of them. It ain't nothing, Pure Life. It ain't none of them waters. That water started looking ratchet. And next thing you know, it turned bloody. And then after that you know which blood I'm talking about. The blood, the fresh blood. Then it starts to coagulate, which is what people don't realize. That's why the fish couldn't live in it. Bloody water, red tide, whatever you think that thing was, it wasn't right. Because the water went from clean to undrinkable in a miracle's time. Then fish started coming up in it, so the water had to start stinking, or maybe it already smelled like blood. Then the fish died. The fish like, dude, this is our home. We told y'all turn off the faucet. The fish holding up signs like, do not fish. All the other animals out there, there ain't no other animals died in that river except for the fish, boy. The fish couldn't handle that stuff. They're like, somebody find me someplace else to live. And then these motherfuckers thought that it was just the river fish. Boy, the ones that were in the ponds, the fresh water, the little lakes, the pools of water, they had no hope. That tide touched everything, man. That was like a tide to go. That thing went everywhere. They had to start digging around places just to find water to drink, meaning that the sources, the aquifers, the springs were untouched. Yahweh had mercy on even the Egyptians. He's like, all right, my people got to drink too. But where did they hang out? They hanged out in the boondocks. The story of boondocks is the story of the children of Yasharal. Boondocks. That TV show, we in the boondocks. The land of Goshen. That's where all of us were living, man. Those societies in those neighborhoods where you got an MLK Street. That's where we all were. What you would call the slums. It was a palace type place, beautiful place to live. But then Egypt got a little decrepit and started changing wages, just like Laban did to Yaakov, Jacob, 10 times. Started making rules and plans to get the people of Yah killed and underserved and turning them into slaves. The Levites were the only ones that said, we ain't going to work. Everybody else was put under subjection. The Levites said, hell nah, we ain't working. We're going to do the do. The government got to provide for us. For all the stuff that we did, we saved your land from a famine for 7 years. That famine would have crippled our great-great-great-grandfather, Yosef. It wasn't that many generations, but hey. Yes, it was, actually, because they had numerous children in those times. They were healthy, studs. Egypt had a better state or status than even Babylon. Joseph turned Egypt into the head of gold. Yosef turned Egypt into the head of gold. That was a kingdom, man. You couldn't copy Egypt. Egypt provided food for the whole world, just like the United States of America lends out more stuff to the whole world. It wasn't a white people, black people matter. It was Egyptian. And Yahweh even tells you in Ezekiel chapter 20, I told my people not to serve the gods of Egypt, not to look unto those gods, not to take them upon their lips. And my people decided to just be like Egypt. Well, Egypt had to get destroyed because in that bloodline, you have people that want to make you slaves. Only way to destroy them is by letting nature destroy them. Through the animals, through the weather, through the natural occurrences on earth, all these miracles and signs. You got the pillar of a cloud. You've got sounds and trumpets. I request that every single Melachim, angel, that was present at the fall of Jericho and that was present at the fall of the Midianites when Gideon had to take over charge, come to me and surround me. Wherever I go in this nation, there is going to be Jericho-like events that happen. And don't tell me that the White House is built like the walls of Jericho. That ain't gonna happen, boy. One little earthquake, well, seismic on the seismograph, a 5.0 can rattle Washington. Y'all can have all these military bases. You can have all these places. Boy, when the ground gets fucked up, y'all airplanes are grounded. When your buildings start coming down on you, you're gonna have to fly on your little SpaceX thing. Keep yourselves off of the terra firma. This is the stuff that our people are gonna be praying for by grace and by power and by might. We do not fear you anymore. Our captors, we never feared our captors, by the way. Our captors try to make us fear them. That's all these movies and seances. This country is the country that has the most witchcraft happening in it around the world because you allow everybody to come in. Your religions of witchcraft and indoctrination, teaching people all of the rudiments of the world so that way you can have more followers. Yahweh's taking all of his people out of your nonsense. It says it in the book of Joel. He says, I'm going to call my children from all corners of society, and I'm going to force them to leave. They will no longer live here, congregate under the masses in the confusion. All of Yahweh's people that are in the religion of Catholicism, he's going to take them out. All of them that are in the religion of Christianity, he's going to take them out. Jewishism, Islam, he's going to take all his people out of all these fake ass religions. That's what he's going to do. The religions aren't fake. They're real, but they're pretentious. All of the religions that allow for this order, the disease of the demons and their nonsense and their demonology and all their education and all their wisdom, all of that stuff is going to hell. It's going to burn. You got a green little backdrop coming out, green and brown toads and frogs all coming out of the water. That bloody water, that's a nasty looking color. Tell me if you're going to put those colors on your next team. The boys came out the ground looking like the army. They came out in camo. You got a brown ground. This is in the white beaches of Egypt, boy. Every place you could think of where this thing went down. These guys came out there with full force. Yahweh sent the military after Egypt. I'm going to send you my sigmas. You're going to see what's going to happen. Boy, that water turned nasty. Just look when you research the scripture, you look at the Bible, you have to look at the tactical nature of Yahweh and why he made people do certain things in war and battle. And it's all according to Torah. Before the Torah was given, you already see the examples of how people must live. An army engages in battle, where all the feasts and festivals came from, the festival of booths and Sukkoth and the tithe. All of that stuff came from Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov. So he already walked through the Torah. As he said, Abraham followed my laws to the letter. I am his friend. I am his provider. Isaac did the same thing his father did. You see the genes? Purification through the first to the second to the third and then the fourth generation. Triple purified, triple washed by the time you get to Yaakov. Quadruple washed by the time you get to the children of Yasharah. The children of Jacob. They were on the fourth washing cycle. They're like, if you got to purify your spaghetti, purify your water, Abraham was the first one. And then it passed again through another purification system through Isaac. And then it passed through another purification system through Jacob. And then it passed through another purification system from Reuben all the way down to Benjamin. And then Manasseh and Ephraim. That was a fourth wash. By that time, boy, if you keep on going, you're going to end up with 7. And that's purified. When something's been purified or cured to the 7th power, the 7th level, it is 7 times purified. That is perfection. You keep purifying it, you're just going to be purifying purification. I don't know how many processes around the world require you to put on 7 coats of something or to purify something 7 times, except for like gold and metallurgy. So you get the purest form of what you're dealing with. Pure chocolate, pure this, pure that. That is what it was. They were being refined through obedience to get all this nonsense, this evil satanic goo and sin and the demons that are in each and every one of us. To every degree, there are people that are walking around with demons in them. And there are some people who have been freed from all of their demons, but they still have the flesh to worry about. The flesh that has been seared, the conscious and the consciousness that has been seared through Lucifer's agenda, all of these things that are being taught in society and society itself. That's why John said, do not become friends with the world, the flesh, or the devil. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Lust of the flesh is the world. Lust of the eyes. The pride of life, Lucifer. You got the world, the flesh, and the devil. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Pride of life is Lucifer. Trying to make you think that all the bad stuff that you've experienced and gone through in your life is gospel. No, it's not. That's sickness. He said he's going to put all the disease of Egypt back on you if you guys don't, and new ones that you've never heard of. Boy, these things come directly from heaven. Some diseases that have been given to mankind on earth, those things come directly from the Shamayim. And Lucifer knows it too. That's why I said I do not fear Lucifer. I don't fear the devil. I study military tactics of the scripture. I study all the plagues that were put on the children of Egypt, Mitzrayim. Do you think I'm going to fear somebody who has to go to Yahweh in order to tempt a man to see if he's going to cave in? I'm talking about Job. That's a real story, real devil. And the devil know if he listening to me right now that he lost that battle fair and square. There was nothing you could do to Job. Job was covered. Even if you asked for him to be sick, you put diseases from him head to toe. The diseases were allowed by Yahweh. Lucifer has a PhD in every single thing on earth. So when it comes to gene splicing and gene editing and all this AI business trying to form people to the man of the beast or the mark of the beast and getting people sick with the coronavirus, all of that stuff comes from his people, Asians. Doesn't matter what you want to say. I'm gonna point my finger. Even Donald Trump, Satan's little mouthpiece, said it's all in Asia. That's where all this testing and nuclear fission and all this other stuff starts out there. Not just Chinese. If I say Asian, you're already thinking of Chinese, Japanese, you're in trouble. Because Asia stems from England all the way to the Pacific. It's called Eurasia. It's one continent. Australasia. It's one continent. All the people that live on there are the ones that have and house the world's biggest militaries, military industrial complexes, and don't even skip the United States of America because the United States of America is Asian. Who runs the show over here? Caucasian people. That is a type of Asian. Where did your ancestors come from? That region that I'm speaking of. So the entire world is covered by Asians except for one continent, which is Africa. The Americas are run by Asians. Same religion, same people group, the same worship of everything. It has nothing to do with black and white. This has everything to do with repression. Those who are in charge now are the slave owners. They're the Egyptians, the Mithrites, and those who are under their subjection are the slaves. The people who like to keep things in order down here for the current regime, those are the taskmasters. They are the ones that are going to be cast into the lake of fire, the place that I've been practicing and working on forever. Yahweh's people don't have to fear anything because your king speaking to you has nothing to fear. He does not fear society. This society is going to crumble. It's going to be brought and shot and knocked down to its knees. It's already lost in the first round because Yahweh just don't aim to miss. Satan is gonna be tormented. He's got no time on the clock because his act is all that lived. When the sun comes, there's no place to be hid because he just doesn't aim to miss. Yahweh said it's time to reminisce on all the times and the ways that he helped me survive the fist. Let me know his blood conquered this because he just don't aim to miss. Satan's on the way to be tormented. He's got no time on the clock because his act is all to live. When the sun comes, there's no place to be hid because he just don't aim to miss. No matter what they want to do or want to say, it doesn't matter because I own this place today. And no matter what I do or where I go, I know all I have to do is just preach the gospel. It's called a gospel, not the gospel. Every single buddy preaching the gospel gonna send to hell. Everybody gonna send to hell. What? Because he just don't aim to miss. Yeshayahu chapter 12, Isaiah chapter 12. I thank you, Yahweh. Though you were enraged with me, your displeasure has turned back, and you have comforted me. See, Alua is my deliverance. Alua is another word for God, Elohim. I trust and am not afraid, the right term for God and Elohim. For Yahweh is my strength and my song, and he has become my deliverance. And you shall draw water with joy from the fountains of deliverance. And in that day you shall say, praise Yahweh, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples, make mention that his name is exalted. Sing to Yahweh, for he has done excellently. This is known in all the earth. Cry aloud and shout, O inhabitant of Sion, for great is the Kadosh one of Yasharel in your midst. It says, this poetic promise given to me at 3:40 a.m. on July the 10th, 2023. As is written in Isaiah chapter 12, verse 3. With joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation. This is how I said Yahweh Shai is a water-born spirit. Spirits are water-born entities. The moment a man's body dries up, he gets dehydrated, he dies. This world, as they have said over time, has changed the percentages of water and the hydrologic cycle on Earth. They are now saying that Earth is covered by 80% of water. It's no more 3/4 of the world is covered by water. Boy, get out of here. Land to Earth is like an ice cream float. Whatever's floating on the top is the land, and whatever's keeping that thing afloat is the water or the liquid underneath it. That is how this earth really is. There is more water on the surface of this earth than there is land, and there's a whole bunch of land. So just imagine, you are dealing with an expanse. His name is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh. Life, power, light, salvation. Yahweh Shai. Salvation of Yahweh. Salvation is a cleansing, because the only way you can be saved is by the remission of your sins. It says that the sins of a man, just like the wickedness that clings to this earth, man is made from the same earth. That's how Yahweh can control him and command him to do anything, because just as he commanded the earth, Yahweh can command a human. Human beings came from the ground. So if we're from the ground, you have to research and study how Yahweh speaks to the ground in order to understand how he speaks to the man. Human beings are comprised of, just like the earth, at least 80% of water. Everything else is just skin and bones. That's literally what it is. And even those require water, because the moment a person dies of dehydration, a person can live off of water for weeks without food. But you cannot live for weeks without water. You have 3 to 4 days max before your body starts to